So initially, I was gonna start working on a video today talking about and attempting to restore this old White Tiger Zord that I bought for $35 the other day, but then something showed up in the mail. Literally. And that is, well, if you clicked on this video, you know what it is. The Kamen Rider Zero One official Blu-ray release from Shout Factory. This is my first official Kamen Rider Blu-ray. However, it's not my first of any Kamen Rider physical media that I have purchased, because I've literally been buying several games for years now. Now, I am personally a big fan of physical media versus digital, and if there's any way to get an official licensed release of something that I liked or enjoyed, then I'll do it, because it's hard to find things online sometimes. Legally. And I mean, I normally do this if, I go into a store, or even if I'm just looking online and there's something I want to get. For example, and just to give you a little bit of insights at some of my collection, Mazinger Z Infinity, the CW's Flash Seasons 1 and 2, Dragon Ball Super Broly, Fushigi Yugi, the Mysterious Play, actually this is my favorite anime of all time, Beast Wars Transformers, yes please. Alright, so here is the Blu-ray set in itself. Some nice, descriptions in the back, all that good stuff on there. I gotta say, my biggest complaint that I've had with this thing since its initial release is just the fact that it says Kamen Rider Zero One, but then underneath it, it says Kamen Rider Zero One, also in English. Like, it makes sense when in the Japanese one, it says it in Japanese and then English, but there's no need to have this on here twice. Like, why? They should have just put that in Japanese down here at the bottom, and it would have been all the more better. Okay, so let's pop this open. So in here, they showcase all of Shout Factory's other releases that are official. So we've got the original Kamen Rider, Kuga, Ryuki, and then Zero One. We've got our multitude of Blu-ray discs in here. I wish they would have at least tried to change the artwork on some of these, but yeah, I guess you can't be picky when it comes to this stuff. Just appreciate the fact that we've got it. And yeah, 8 discs total. At first I thought maybe it's got a reversible, but it does not. Essentially what's back here is just the entire listing per each disc on each side. So it's not bad. It's definitely a lot bulkier than your standard Blu-ray release, just because it's got so many discs in there. But overall, still nice to have in the collection pile. But yeah, this right here, why? I might fix that on the computer later. You know what I absolutely love is when I'm editing a video and my microphone was still recording, but then my video apparently stopped. So I have to re-record this whole thing again. So now for this review, I'm going to break things down a little bit differently. You see, in a previous life, I actually worked for a big box electronics retailer and was heavily involved with the home theater department in terms of operations and the technology that we sold there. So I'm going to use a little bit of the knowledge that I've attained from that job and do the comparison of the Zero One Blu-ray to 2 other mediums. I'm going to compare the Blu-ray's quality release of episode 1 to the already released episode 1 that is officially on YouTube by Toei Tokusatsu, along to comparing it with an unofficial way that many of us have been indulging in years. But first, before doing that, I just want to give you guys the benefits of buying physical media versus going digital. First and foremost, actually supporting the industry. You know how often I go to Walmart and see like an Ultraman DVD there? It's fairly common. But Kamen Rider? Absolutely not. And that's a travesty. Supporting this release makes that reality all the more closer to being obtainable. 2. You now own something without worrying about rights expiring and losing access to the content. And 3. You can now enjoy the stuff on your maybe big ass TV and surround sound. Okay, the third one is a little bit of a caveat, and I'll get into all that. Also, just a heads up, I am unable to record direct feed from the Blu-ray player for obvious reasons. So, needless to say, a lot of the close-up action will be recorded using my Samsung Galaxy Note 20? Yeah. Galaxy Note 20. So, no adjustments will be changed in terms of camera angles or lighting or anything like that when it comes to the close-up comparison that you'll see at the end of the video. It was all recorded using this phone with the same settings in just about the right angle. Believe me, I've been editing it. It was hard just trying to line them up. You'll see at the end of the video. The first thing that we're going to look at is the actual Blu-ray itself. So I've got it running on a Samsung 4K Blu-ray player, so it's actually going to try and upscale the picture quality from the 1080p video footage that we've got already to a higher 4K standard. This is currently running on a 65-inch OLED Sony 4K TV. Even though this is an older TV from 2016, the picture quality on it is still actually fairly good. So we're going to see how this ends up playing out on here first. So looking at the picture quality that we have here, honestly, it is really good in terms of the picture in itself. We see very minimal artifacting going on when it comes to it. However, this could change as we have a lot more fast movement, which is what I'm trying to see here. There are some issues that end up happening further in the background. You do see a little bit of, JPEG compression going on and things like that, but it's honestly, you can neglect that if you are sitting, of course, further away than what I am right now. So honestly, for this quality, it's fine. So let's shift gears and look at it from a different perspective. Okay, so on here, we've got the first episode of Kamen Rider Zero One. This one is coming from Toei Tokusatsu World Official, so it is the official YouTube release of it. This is just running natively off of the TV's own internal YouTube app. So let's take a look at that version.
新時代の人工知能技術があなたの未来を切り開く。人工知能搭載人型ロボ、その名もヒューマギア。彼は物体認識の技術によって私が誰であるかを認識し、自分で考え行動するのです。おはよう。
おはようございます。秘伝これのすけ社長。
秘伝インテリジェンスは一部地域で新たなヒューマギア派遣サービスを始動。通信衛星ゼアによって。
Okay, so first of all, the first weird thing that I noticed in the beginning is the fact that it was oddly mute. Okay. But whoa. Okay, so of course, different things going along with this. Of course, since it is streaming, the video quality is dramatically worse as you're going to run into way more compression issues and a lot more artifacting going on there. You're going to see a little bit more movement going around the character models themselves, and way more JPEG compression on the streaming side of things than you're going to run into on the physical media aspect of it, which automatically puts the Blu-ray release, much better than this one. Not only that, but of course the deviation in the subs and formats, depending on how your computer or your TV will play them, is going to be substantially different from what you're going to get on a official Blu-ray release. Now, for the third option, your mileage will definitely vary on this one, because it can definitely vary depending on what you're using to play it on your TV. Some folks might just connect their computer via HDMI directly to the TV, play it that way. Some TVs typically have an internal media player, but whether or not that's going to work for the format that you get it online can vary. I've run into a lot of this issues with my LG TV that I have upstairs, where it will play video files fine depending on their format, but it won't play their subtitle files unless they're hard-coded. So, completely different area of a ballgame that you're playing in with that territory. This TV tends to be my best media-centric TV because it runs on the Android operating system. So I can literally just plug in any USB device and run it off of a VLC player directly on there, which is how we're going to watch the first bit of this video.
私が誰であるかを認識し、自分で考え行動するのです。おはよう。
おはようございます。秘伝これのすけ社長。
秘伝インテリジェンスは一部地域で新たな昼間着や派遣サービスを始動。
So the biggest difference that I'm noticing, at least with this video file, is that it's slightly better than what we get with the YouTube streaming option, but there's still problems and hiccups here and there. There is, of course, if it's your actual, TV running it, it's putting a little bit more horsepower into trying to run the file itself. There tends to be a lot more compression with the backgrounds, though because it is on a file, it typically can run much better, and you don't have to worry for any bufferings or loadouts or anything like that, depending on what your internet speeds are. However, there is still a lot of bad compression, and the Blu-ray quality so far definitely has the bigger lead. Substantially so, I would say. Okay, so after reviewing, obviously, the YouTube version, the unofficial release, and the Blu-ray version, clear winner is going to have to be the Blu-ray release, just because overall, you can't beat this level of quality. Even if you end up downloading a RIP, it might still end up having some sort of compression in it based on whatever software and hardware equipment that person is using. Now, obviously, because this is an official Blu-ray, I could not do a direct RIP feed of this, so everything was off camera that you saw. However, even in the off-camera footage, the Blu-ray release still looked better. Honestly, for me, there's no denying that this Blu-ray has the best quality that you could get Zero One in right now, period. So it's a highly recommend on my list of, Toku purchases. If you want the physical media, it's obviously here. Get it. If you want to support the endeavor to try and get Kamen Rider and other tokusatsus to the more mainstream, get it. Why not? Like, its retail price is pretty extensively cheap. You can find it typically less than $60 in most other retailers, regardless But with this being, you know, an official release for a semi-recent series, definitely worthy of being in anyone's collection if you call yourself a Rider fan. But like I said, maybe I'm just a Toku snob about this stuff. But yeah, the Kamen Rider Zero One Blu-ray release, definitely get it. And if there's any more releases from Shout Factory, even if it's a series that I dislike, like Ghost, I'll still buy it just to support the cause. So, doing my part. If you want to do yours, then go ahead. No one's stopping you. But until next time, bye.